Hi, my name is Nate Davis, author of the book Footballer, and I want to talk about through balls, the long through ball in particular. Before the player makes the long through ball, there's good ball movement here, and one of the things that the team is looking for as far as making a through ball is that they want to find a forward that is somewhat left alone. If he's got two people marking him, it's probably not a good opportunity to pass a through ball. Another thing that they're looking for is for the person making the through ball to be open enough so that he can make an accurate pass. So if you're trying to defend the through ball, one of the most important places to defend the through ball is in the backfield, where the pass is going to be delivered from. Because if you pressure that passer, it makes it far more difficult for him to make a good, reliable pass. Now we're watching for the moment that the through ball is going to be made. Okay, so this player receives the ball, has a little bit of a lane to dribble in, so he takes the space by dribbling in the lane. Now he sees, at least near him, he has a passing lane where he can deliver the ball without it hitting one of the players in maroon. And he's also looking forward, he had also looked forward downfield to see if there was a forward he could pass to. Now it's important that this pass does certain things. First of all, this pass has to clear the defense's head because it's going in the air. And so if it doesn't go over the defense's head, it's just going to be headed back out and probably change possession. Another thing that this pass is going to do is it's going to stay in bounds, either whether it rolls over the touch line or it rolls over the goal line. You don't want the ball to roll out of bounds. And finally, this ball is not going to go to the goalie. So this pass is going to be made more toward the corner flag so that the goalie can't reach down and pick it up and change possession that way. So there's the pass. It cleared the defense for sure. And it stayed in bounds. And the forward was open enough to gain possession at the other end of the field. This is a very fast way to move possession to this end of the field. And you're probably curious as to how this play worked out. Did it turn into a goal or not? And right here he's going to take a shot. Now one of the rules about taking shots is you want two ball widths before you take the shot. So if you can shoot, in other words, if you kick the ball out to the side a little bit further, and the defender had stepped there, but he was able to get two ball widths, so right there he should have taken that shot. But in this case, he doesn't have the two ball widths to take that shot. So change of possession. Okay, so let's watch the play unfold one more time. There's a throw in. The ball goes to a supporting runner who is open. They maintain possession. Back to the thrower. Then to a midfielder. To another midfielder who dribbles a lane. Puts the ball over the top of the defense. Yet it stays in bounds. And they maintain possession at the other end of the field. Here we have an example of a through ball that doesn't clear the defense. See how it hit a defender here? This was the forward he was looking for, and so the ball went out of bounds. Here it is again. Defender has plenty of time, makes the pass, but it bounces off a player. These passes have to be practiced over and over again in order to be able to get the ball high enough and then also drop it right in the correct spot. One way to practice this is to have a partner to play with and at least 2 or 3 or 4 balls, and then to set up boxes that are maybe 4 or 5 yards by 4 or 5 yards. And then to try to, each player dribbles the ball forward and tries to pass the ball up and drop it right into that box. And at the same time, the other player on the other side is dribbling up and trying to pass the ball into the other box. And that way the balls are constantly going in both directions. And you get lots of practice, lots of attempts, lots of tries to get that ball to drop right where you want it to do. And then in the game, you just simply imagine that box where you want to drop the ball, and you put the ball over the defense and drop it right in the spot where you want it to go. But it takes practice every week. You need to be doing dozens, maybe 50 of these types of long through balls in order to increase your skill. And then after that, you need to continue to do these regularly so that you maintain the skill, both on your left foot and your right foot. Always recommend half the practice is on your right foot and half the practice is on your left foot. That way you'll be ready to send a long through ball with either foot in case there's some defensive pressure. Here we have a long through ball that's going to be kicked out of bounds by the maroon team. But one of the things that I want you to notice is that the defense in this case is pretty far back. So this is the offsides line here. And as this player sets up to kick the long through ball, that defensive line is going to be moving backward. What's going to happen is that it's going to get harder and harder to keep the ball in bounds because the space to pass the through ball into is getting smaller and smaller. So it's always best, if you want to try to do a long through ball, if you have space for the ball to land and stop, unless you have some special skills, like if you can put backspin on the ball and get the ball to stop and not roll downfield, then that helps. But it's all usually easiest if you can simply have the space to set the long through ball into the backfield without it rolling out of bounds. So here's the pass. The player gets open, and it's a long pass out of bounds. And that ball went over the sideline, but it had so much momentum and there was so little space, it very likely would have gone over the goal line out of bounds here had it been in bounds. Here we have another through ball. Okay, and this pass was made to a player who was triple teamed. And so the likelihood of him receiving that ball is very, very low. It shouldn't be passed into a crowd. The player making the pass should wait for a better opportunity to where they've left a forward alone or given him some space, like 10 yards or so, and there's a likelihood that only one defender is going to be available to defend it all. Once it gets into a 3-on-1 situation, it's just very unlikely that that player is going to be able to maintain possession. And even if he does get possession, he's going to have a defender and a supporting defender to stop the ball and another defender to cut off any passing opportunities he has. So it's always best to save the through balls for when there's a genuine opportunity. Don't just kick a through ball because that's what your team does every time. You want to look for opportunities for the through ball. In my experience, that's about 5 times per half. What you need to be thinking about instead is how you can use your forwards to maintain possession and confuse the defense in possession to 1v1. I'm Nate Davis, author of the book Footballer. Thank you for watching.